Welcome one and all, I'm Decoy. Today we're going to talk about the Shattered Space DLC. I know we don't have an official release date for it yet, but I wouldn't let that discourage you. Mostly because we're not actually that far past launch, and if you look back at previous titles from Bethesda, we normally don't have much info to go off of on their DLCs by this point. But, that being said, what we can look at is their track record for when they release DLC after launching previous titles. And that generally puts them, I want to say, around like the 4 to 8 month range. Really closer to 6 to 8 months, but the window for when it's going to come out is still a good ways off. Honestly, you're probably looking at closer to the end of the first quarter of next year, which would put it way back into March, or possibly sometime in the second quarter. I would say it's a safe bet that we will definitely have a DLC by the second quarter next year, but at the same time, you never know. They could have some weird issues popping up with what they're working on, and it could delay it. Only time's going to tell on that. But I have seen quite a bit of things pop up across the internet of people saying what they want to see in the DLC. And some of them I can agree with. Some of them are kind of like a smack your head kind of moment. Because I remember reading, someone was like, oh, I really hope they have side quests. And I felt some brain cells die for a second. Maybe that's just me, but I was like, honestly, do you not expect there to be side quests? That seems really weird. I mean, it'd almost be like going into it going, man, I really hope they have quests in their DLC. Like main quest, or any quest, or galaxy quest. Okay, maybe not the galaxy quest part, but you get what I'm saying. Another thing people are asking for is mechs. They really, really want to see mechs in the game. Me personally, I don't think it absolutely needs to happen on the first DLC. If it does, awesome. But I really want to see it pop up at some point during the future of Starfield. Either as a usable thing where the player can hop in it and run around inside a mech causing chaos, or something the enemies have, which I think would be a lot easier for them to implement and a lot more realistic of a goal. Because, oh my gosh, I want a mech boss fight. After playing through New Game Plus on the hardest difficulty with only a cutter and beating it, I want that mech boss fight. And I swear I'm going to try to do it with a freaking cutter if I can. Because why not? I'm slightly crazy, but it's alright. I totally would go up against a mech with a cutter. I mean, it makes perfect sense. I'm going to go in there and cut its limbs off or something. Another thing players are asking for is more backstory to House Va'ruun. And I would say it's not so much backstory that we need as we need a continuation of what we have thus far. Because they've left us some really interesting breadcrumbs that point to something extremely suspect happening within House Va'ruun. I made a little bit of a Va'ruun lore video, and if you don't want to check that out, all I'm going to say is go to the Va'ruun embassy, do a little bit of reading while you're there. That should hopefully give you an idea of, wait a minute, something's not right here. Now, I will say that I'm not sure if Va'ruun would actually end up in the first DLC, but obviously it is a super safe bet that they will be in a DLC at some point. That is obviously a no-duh Decoy. Yes. I think the real thing is I think House Va'ruun has the potential to be so amazing that it might be a standalone DLC that just wholeheartedly focuses more towards House Va'ruun than anything else. Obviously, this early in, and with the DLC being so far out, everything is pure speculation at this point. Not my favorite thing. But hey, hop down in the comments, let me know what you want to see in the DLC. Don't forget to check out my other Starfield content, and please remember to like, sub, and share. Later.